Hey guys, so today I have the camera turned the other way because I wanted you guys to take a look at what I see every day when I drive into work, and this is what I see. I see cruise boats. Right now it's hard for me to see because my backlight is really dim, so I actually can't see the screen of my phone, but hopefully you guys are seeing the cruise boats that I am seeing right now, and hopefully the car mount is not blocking you, but essentially you guys are driving on the road to go to work. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Really simple, just, you know, a little snapshot of the cruise boats. There are actually 5 cruise boats at port this morning. One of them is the Carnival Dream, which was having the issues with the toilet and the elevator and all that craziness that came out of Port Canaveral. This is Port Canaveral, by the way, if you're wondering. And that boat was returned here, and it looks like they're probably going through inspections or whatever. And that, if you can see it, is the Carnival Ecstasy. And earlier we drove by the Disney Dream. That's the boat that's in port right now for Disney. That's the Thursday to Sunday boat. I think those are the dates. I'm not entirely sure. But I just wanted to share this little my morning drive cruise boat tour. Whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Hey guys, so my intention was only to show you the cruise boats this morning, but I happen to have 2 offices. They're essentially 2 cubicles. They're not like nice offices or anything like that, but I have 2 cubicles. One in a building at the south end of the base and one at the north end. I'm one of those rare people who gets 2 cubicles. Most people only get 1. Design and test engineers have 2 office locations because we have to support 2 different programs. And as a whole, I support FBM, which is the big overarching program. But there's FBM support equipment, which is the south building, and then there's FBM CMC, which is where I sit 99% of the time. Well, because I support 2 different groups and I have 3 different managers, sucks. It's really hard to manage your job when you have 3 managers. I feel like Office Space sometimes. If you've ever seen that movie and he's like, oh, did you get the TPM reports? You know, you gotta make sure you have that cover page. And they're like, did you get the memo? And his friend's like, did you get the memo? And then his other boss is like, did you get the memo? And he complains, he's like, you have 8 people delivering you the same message. And it's so frustrating. And sorry, I just got a text. Anyway, so I have that problem. I have 3 managers, and they all deliver similar news. The worst part about it isn't the fact that you get the same information 3 times. The worst part is when they don't agree and you get 3 different directions on what you're supposed to be doing. So I have one guy who is my official L code, my Lockheed coded manager, the person who hired me, who pays my paycheck, who is in the system that says they are my leader. And they're the ones who sign my time card at the end of every week. They're the ones who sign my performance evaluations, who says whether or not I did a good job. Then I have my actual functional manager, or my matrix manager, who gives me my actual work. And because I matrixed out to him, he actually will sign my time card for my actual work. Now, if for some reason he's not there, my L code is the official signer of my time card. So I technically have 2 people who have to sign my time card, but really only one of them signs and the other one just says, okay, I trust the other guy. Kind of deal is what's going on there. And since my functional manager, my technical lead, since he is the one who sees my work and assigns me my work, it makes more sense for him to sign my time card, because he's the one who really knows what I'm doing, unlike my L code, who doesn't see me every day, who doesn't exactly know what I do. He knows of what I do, and we have weekly meetings to talk about my statusing of my projects and things like that. But ultimately, my technical lead is way more in the weeds with me than my L code. And then to top it all off, my L code's boss, who is my boss's boss, he is also a lead indirectly because I indirectly report to him since he's my boss's boss, but I happen to support a group that he is a lead on, and so he is a secondary technical lead and my boss's boss. So he actually holds 2 roles for me. So technically he's like, I have 4 managers because he does 2 managing roles, and so he also assigns me work. Here's the problem. All 3 of them assign me projects, and it gets to the point where sometimes I get assigned too much work, where one guy's like, work 50% of your day here, the other guy's 50% of your day here, and the other guy says 50% of your day here, and you're like, that's 150%. What? And you can't, and if you tell them, oh, well, I can only work 1/3 of my hours, which would be 3 hours a day since we work 9-hour days, towards your thing, and they're like, well, no, we were expecting you to support 4.5 hours each day, and I'm like, well, 4.5 hours for 3 projects, like, that's just ridiculous. Like, I can't work freaking 13.5 hours a day. That just sounds ridiculous. So I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. So this morning I'm meeting with my boss's boss, my secondary technical lead who has given me assignments, and I'm meeting with him this morning, and then my technical boss is at the building that I normally sit at, which I just left, and I have to meet him at 11. So I'm meeting one guy at 10 at the south building, then I'm meeting this other guy at 11 at my regular building, and then luckily I have a 3rd meeting with all 3 bosses because we all happen to be working on a similar project for another assignment that I have. I have like 12 assignments. It's not really that many. I have, I think, 6 right now. It's a lot. It's very confusing actually when I'm doing my time card and I have to charge my time according to what I've been working on. So I have to like track, okay, how much time did I work on this project today? How much time did I work on this project today? How much time did I work on this project today? It is very confusing. If you're a newer engineer, they typically only assign you like 1, maybe 2 projects. And at my level, they should only be giving me 3 to 4, but they're treating me like I'm a higher level engineer because technically I qualify for it, but I'm not being paid for it, which is total BS. But anyway, I am going to work on a promotion this year. I'm going to ask to see if I can get promoted because I got hired in a little low, and because of that, I kind of have to wait for that duration of time spent on the job, and so I can't really ask for a promotion right now. I've only been on the program like 6-7 months now, so it's a little too early to ask for that. And honestly, they should have hired me in as a 3, an engineer 3, because that's what I qualified for, but they didn't have a 3 open. Like, they didn't have the funding to support a 3, so it was either I take the job as a 2 or I just stay where I'm at, and I really wanted to be back at Lockheed, so I accepted the 2, but I'm getting worked as a 3 because I qualify as a 3, but I'm not getting paid as a 3, so I'm kind of like, make me a 3. Honestly, I don't really care about the title. I'm more like, if you're gonna make me work harder, you should probably pay me for it. I'm just saying, because with my years of experience on top of my master's degree and my bachelor's, as well as my relevant experience and the training and certificates that I have, I should be a 3. Minimum. Like, I should at least be a 3. So I'm not asking for a lot. I qualify for it. I'm not asking to be something outside of my qualifications. But anyway, so I'm about to meet my bosses. I like my bosses. They're all completely different, and they all have their own like things. They're all very, very different from each other, but I like all of them. They all have really good strengths, and between the 3 of them, they're all really, really good systems engineers, and so I admire them a lot. So anyway, I am here. I'm going to park and try not to hit this guy's car because he's parked on the line, and I'm going to go to my meeting, and then hopefully I can get out in time so I can make it back to my other meeting. See you guys in a bit. So it is like 5 to 11, so I'm going to be late to my meeting with my other boss, but I had a really good talk with my boss's boss / secondary technical lead. So it was a skip level meeting where essentially I talked to him as my boss's boss under the assumption that I don't report to him. So I have to talk to him in the sense of like, hey, what are my concerns from my lower level management levels, as well as, you know, how do I feel about my job, my career, my progression, my succession, things like that. And it was really nice because I mentioned it before in another video, but I'm a fast tracker. Well, I was a fast tracker before, where I would like get levels really quick, and I would like overexert myself so that I would get promotions faster and I would get bigger merit raises. And then when I left Lockheed, my career kind of went Brrr! And then now that I'm back with Lockheed, I'm trying to bring it back up. And having that conversation with him was really nice. And I did actually talk to him about my my desire for a 3. And he actually told me, he said, you know what? All the work that you've done, I'm really impressed. He's like, you're one of my top engineers. I feel very confident in what you do. He's like, I love having these conversations because I feel like I get a lot of great input. And I said, thank you. And he said, you know what? Let's work on building you a business case, because every time you want to get a promotion, you have to build a business case. It's almost like a big portfolio of all your achievements and accolades, and as well as like your experience, what you've done to accomplish your goal of being a 3. So essentially, in order for me to get a 3, I have to do 3 work, excel and exceed at it as a 2, and show and prove that I am not only capable of being a 3, but that I am doing a 3 job and that I deserve to be a 3. And then once they build this, essentially this really nice portfolio of accolades, they send it out for submission, and then corporate has to decide whether or not they want me to do the job, they like my portfolio, and then, you know, promote me. And then at that point, they actually have to give me a new job. They actually have to reassign me. Like, even though I'm already doing 3 work, they have to give me a new title and give me essentially a new position and do additional responsibilities to show that I didn't just go from doing the same thing to doing the same thing, because then they're going to be like, well, why do we promote you if you're just going to continue to do the same thing? So I really, really, really enjoyed that conversation. I hope it's going to, you know, springboard me into the next position. I am like crossing my fingers that it happens, because that would be amazing. I have always wanted to be like a major lead. I wanted to be like chief systems engineer. I wanted to be like a director of mechanical engineering one day. Like, I wanted to do so. I wanted to be like that girl. Now that I'm married and I want to have a family someday and I want kids, and I literally see my bosses like work ridiculous amount of hours, and they like have to take personal holidays. They're like, hey, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm taking a mental holiday tomorrow. Like, they take a day off in the middle of the week because they're just so stressed out, because there's just so much to do, and it's such a challenge to remain competitive at that level, because ultimately, at the end of the day, we're all competing. We're all competing. If you want to get anywhere in your career as an engineer, you are competing with your coworkers. So if you're not excelling or doing more than what they are doing, you will just glide and you will just move up with inflation, which many people are totally cool with. They just want to like do their job, just glide, get their promotions as it comes. But I don't want to I don't want to wait 4 more years to get my engineering 3. I want it now. I have the minimum qualifications, but if I wait by time and experience, I would have to wait another 4 years before I got my 3 if I want to just glide through it. But I'm not a glide through it type of person. I got my engineering 2 way before I actually qualified for it, because I was a fast tracker, and I'm sure as heck going to do the same thing. Now that I'm back with Lockheed, I'm not going to let my career go blah, because I let it go blah when I was with ITT, and I'm not doing that this time. I'm gonna try to skyrocket myself back up, but we'll see how that goes, because my husband and I did have a conversation the other day, and I told him if we had kids, I could not do what I'm doing today. I could not work a full-time job and do YouTube and do choir and be a part of our church group and do the church ministry stuff and have a child. Something's got to give. And my career's not going down the drain. I'm not going to let all of this time and energy that I've expended on my career to go down the drain. So my career is number 1 priority. The second thing is church. Church. I think my faith is more important because it's what mellows me out. It brings me back to earth. It reminds me of what's important in life. And then YouTube would be the last priority. YouTube would go. If we had kids, YouTube would go. But I told him I didn't want YouTube to go. I want to continue to be able to do what I would do. And so the compromise would be that if we had kids, I would more than likely go to part-time for work. Like, I would still continue to work on my career, and I would still continue to do what I do and be happy and, you know, not let my job go to waste. But at the same time, I would still be able to do YouTube part-time. And I would do work part-time. So things would be cut out. A lot of things would be cut out, but not everything, because I don't want to get rid of anything. Anyway, I'm back at my normal office, and I'm late for my meeting. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.